All right, back here live at Park MGM in Las Vegas. It is Pac-12 Women's Basketball Media Day, and the Colorado Buffaloes taking center stage. Head coach JR Payne heading into year 8, which is kind of hard for me to believe. But coming off a big season, 25 wins, a trip to the Sweet 16. You got 4 of your 5 starters back from that squad. So we'll start with a big picture coming into this year. What excites you about this group, and where are you at with the program?
Yeah, I mean, thank you for having me. Excited to be back as always with you guys. Yeah, we're really excited about our season. We had, as you mentioned, a great year last year. Finished really strong. You know, as the season goes on, you're trying to get better and better and better as the year goes on, and I definitely think we did that. And then to be able to return almost everybody from last year's team that was sort of peaking at the right time, we've really tried to be intentional about starting where we finished. You know, obviously you're not in as good a shape and you have to put in a lot of offense and defensive schemes and stuff, but we really have been able to start at a much higher clip than we have in the past.
Coach, I'm watching your football coach news conference, and I see Coach Prime mentioning you and women's basketball. What has the wave that is Coach Prime been like in your life? And can you get into a restaurant anymore? Because it seems like Boulder's the place to be.
Well, it's definitely a different vibe in Boulder. I love Coach Prime. I say it to anyone who will listen because people always want to ask. I've already been asked about him 6 times today. But I am all in for everything that he's about. You know, it's really refreshing for a coach, like myself that's been coaching a long time, to hear someone come in with so much press and so much, but talking about the right things: discipline, hard work, camaraderie, teamwork, all the things that we all know make a great ball club. And so, yeah, his daughter's on our team. He's always trying to say, hey, can I come watch practice? He's been incredible, and the vibe in Boulder is incredible.
Awesome. All right, we're going to open it up to questions from the media. If you have a question, please raise your hand, and Christine will call on you.
Am I right? JR, good morning. Michelle Smith from The Next. When you guys set a very high bar for yourselves, and then you have to meet it, and hopefully even for your team clear it, I'm sure that's your players' expectation. So how does that change those first few days of practice? How does that change how they talk to each other, how you talk to them?
Yeah, we like to use the phrase, the standard is the standard. And the standard for us is striving to be excellent every day, not to go 10 for 10 from 3 or to be, hold an opponent to 0 shots or whatever. Like, our goal is just to be great. And so a lot of people will ask me, well, how far do you want to go this year? What are your team goals? Our goals are to be great today, and then tomorrow we have the same goal. And so I think our team is done. We're very veteran laden. We have a lot of upperclassmen that have played a lot of minutes, experienced a lot of success. Our veterans have done an incredible job of holding our program to that standard.
Over here, am I right?
Hey, Coach. Robbie Whittle, TV8 Vail. As it was pointed out, you're heading into year 8. What have you learned in these past 8 years that you can't wait to implement the most into a new season?
Great question. I mean, I think early on we learned it's really important to be just true to who you are and what you want to be about. Sometimes it's tempting when you jump up, to a conference like the Pac-12 conference where everyone is so good, so well coached, such great teams. It's tempting to try to adapt to be what you think everybody else is going to be in that league. And so we've worked really hard to recruit the type of players that we want to be around, kids that are blue collar, hardworking, tough, do their job, be a great teammate. And so that hasn't really changed for us. Now that we've really locked into that in the past many years, we've created a culture where we are those things. Our locker room is great. We have great chemistry and things like that. So I think just maintaining, sort of those same philosophical desires that we have in our team.
Over here, am I right?
Hey, Coach. Pat Rooney, Boulder Daily Camera. You mentioned in your opening comments about starting at a high level this year, kind of picking up where you left off with most of your rotation back, but you also added 2 transfers. With having that core group already back from the Sweet 16 run, how did that kind of influence or kind of color what you were looking for in the transfer portal?
Yeah, I think when you know that most of your team's coming back and you really have a clear identity of who they are. There's no real question marks, with most of those kids. We also knew exactly what we needed, to add to our roster as far as where we think we needed to improve in order to get to the next level, so to speak, as far as going further than we did last year. And so I think our staff did a great job of identifying a couple of needs and really targeting those with our 2 transfers. They fit absolutely what we needed. Maddie Nolan is a very experienced veteran. I mean, she's played a lot of minutes, at a very high level, and is a knockdown shooter, which we needed, at that wing spot. And then Sarah Rose Smith, sort of that versatile athlete, tough, strong, can rebound, can play several different positions. Those were the 2 things we needed, and we were able to add that.
Michelle, down here.
Will you talk about how your non-conference scheduling, sort of how you factored that into where you want to take this team this year, considering how tough that non-conference schedule looks?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at how tough our schedule is, that tells you how I feel about our team, and our readiness to compete. We wanted to be challenged. We know that this is, the best conference in America this year for women's basketball. We knew that we needed to play great teams in our preseason to be prepared to compete in the Pac-12 conference. And so we did that. We talked to our veterans about some of the games that were, put in front of us, and our veterans said, absolutely, we want these games, and so they wanted to be challenged in that way. We'll be prepared.
Do you mean opening with LSU? Is this what we're talking about? Okay, just wondering.
All the way in the back, right?
Yeah. Hi, Coach. Rylan Scholes with Ralphie Report. There's some very high expectations for your team this year. Is there a certain amount of pressure that comes with that, and what are you and your team doing to tackle that?
Yeah, I would say that nobody in the world has higher expectations of ourselves than we do. Like I said, our veterans do a great job of making sure that we're holding ourselves to the standard that we believe we're capable of. And so, like Mary, you just mentioned LSU opening night, that's obviously a very tall task. But our team wants that. They want to be challenged. They want to be held to the highest standard. And we don't really feel any pressure. We just want to be great.
Charlie?
JR. Hello. Pac-12 Network, Charlie Turner-Thorne. Okay, so everybody back, really good situation. What is your greatest challenge to get this team to its best spot this year?
Yeah, I was just talking to our players on the flight yesterday, just saying every year of coaching, there's a new challenge. You don't necessarily know what it's going to be, every single year. But this year, our biggest challenge has been that we have some, obviously really veteran group, really talented experience. We also have some really good, talented young players who just need time. They can't be expected as 18-year-old kids just getting to college to be on the same level, as these 23-year-old fifth-year seniors. And so really trying to find that balance of getting those young guys, up where they need to be, but also making sure that the train is moving, at a high clip. And so that's been our biggest challenge. The great thing about our team, though, even though there's a big disparity in age for some of our players, is that we have great kids on our team. They're helping the young ones. The young ones are listening. They're coachable. So sort of finding that balance between those two groups has been our biggest challenge.
Cindy?
Cindy Brunson, Pac-12 Networks, JR Payne, how are you? I just want to compliment you on speaking what you wanted into reality. I remember several years ago, you told me what you wanted your team to look like: long, athletic, defensive-minded, shoot the three, and you're there. And now I see that you've tweaked your coaching staff as well. So what about the addition of a Shelly Sheets, who I envision as the Energizer Bunny on your bench? Those kind of changes that will help your team this season.
Yeah, I absolutely love our staff. Toriano, Alex, and I have been together forever. And so that's really been like a great foundation, not just for ourselves, but for our players, to have that stability in our staff. Being able to add Taylor Carrs, our new assistant coach, she was a great player, played for Kelly Graves as I did. So we're kind of all from the same tree, same mindset. That's been great. And then adding Shelly Sheets and Matt Hauer, our Dobo, to our coaching staff, both have been coaches, and have a really great mind for the game. Anytime you can have a Hall of Fame All-American coach on your staff, I think is great.
I think about Jalen Sherrod and Quay Miller in particular. They're getting some preseason accolades as well deserved. Do you think that they get the national attention and respect that maybe they deserve?
I do not. I don't think they do, but I also don't think they mind. You know, they're just trying to be great. For example, you know, Jalen said, let's have Frida come to media day this year. I mean, she's a great teammate. They're built that way that they don't need the shine. They've earned the shine, you know, and they're going to continue to. The points and the rebounds and the steals and all those things are going to tally up in the stat sheets, but they don't necessarily care about that stuff. But I definitely think they're deserving.
JR, you know, we talk about so much about your program, but to me, the key person we don't seem to talk enough about is Nettie Vonleh and what her transfer into your program and the difference it made having an anchor in the middle that shoots close to 60%. What has she meant?
Yeah, Nettie has been transformational for our program. I mean, we had a lot of talent. You know, we did not have an Arinette Vonleh. And to see her, you know, from her freshman year to her sophomore year, to see the change in her game, in her confidence, in her, you know, just presence on the floor has been unbelievable to see. I think we'll expect really, really big things from Nettie this year. And the sky is absolutely the limit. I think she could be the best center in America.
Love that. All right. Well, you've got two of your players here, Frida Foreman, you mentioned, and Quay Miller, as they make their way up to the stage and swap places with you. A thought on them? Let's talk about Frida, because we mentioned Quay. What does Frida bring to the floor?
Yeah, Frida, as the lights got brighter and the stage got bigger last year, Frida absolutely shined. She, in some ways, I would say, carried us in the NCAA tournament. She was unbelievable. She was reliable. She hit big shots. She was absolutely unafraid. Frida's been great since she arrived, you know, on campus. She was a great freshman all through these first few years. She's even better now. I mean, it's really cool to see a player that's had such a great career so far to take it to another level. She's leading. She's talking. She's defending. I mean, she's going to have a great year.
Love it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's bring up Quay Miller and Frida Foreman. Coach, it's great to catch up with you as always. Enjoy the rest of the day, and you're going to be back in Vegas very soon for that showdown with LSU. So best
can't wait.
of luck.
Think about your outfit very closely when you play LSU.
You don't know how many people are trying to dress me for that game.
You might want to think about it.
People think Coach Prime should get to dress me for that game.
Maybe wear a white cowboy hat.
Okay,
I
that's
don't
the
know.
best thing I've heard today so far. I think that needs to happen. Let's speak that into